check. Fuck.
You want it from the very start, or when I came over to New Zealand, I had a couple of journalism jobs, and one of which was actually being a radio presenter for a shortwave radio station by the name of Fleet FM, which was based on Simon Street. I started to get to know a lot of local bands a bit more, which was great. It was a great means to be introduced to music that I thought was pretty cool, not music that was constantly given to me. I thought it was kind of criminal that these bands weren't being played on, you know, bigger radio stations, or they weren't given a decent amount of media coverage, or, you know, even just kind of neglected in the grander kind of scheme of things. So I decided to work with Martin Phillips from God Bows to Math, because we're long-time Nirvana fans and, you know, chubby nerds. So, you know, chubby nerds kind of gravitate towards one another. I really liked God Bows to Math. I thought they were a really cool noise band. Very likable people for the most part. So I ended up going to see them at a place called Ford's Bar. They played a shocker of a set. They were absolutely drunk, you know, like preloading, I believe is the term that they use these days, on Rhinex and Buccaneer beer and whatever tin pot shit beer that they could pick, you know, get their hands on. After Martin played that set with Tom and Jeremy, he comes up to me afterwards outside like, "Hey bro, I'm really sorry I'm drunk. Do you still want us to play tomorrow night?" Like, "Yeah, no, we should. You know, like, we should talk some business up. It'd be cool if you guys came and played. Don't worry about it. You guys are drunk." Man, I said, "What business do you want to talk about?" And I said, "Oh, well, I'm thinking of setting up a record label." And he was, "Oh, okay. Well, how do you plan on doing that?" Knocking back a few beers, and then we had this grandeur idea of we'd, you know, adhere to the old kind of punk label system of having an advert in the back of a magazine. You know, like, "Do you like punk? Do you like noisy music? Then come, you know, email, you know, send us your details, you know, post your details," because we thought, oh, we'll do it like a postal service kind of thing. That'd be cool and antiquated. But then we realized just how much technology we have in this day and age, so it turned into an email label. So yeah, the nucleus was basically drunk night out with one of my best mates deciding, yeah, maybe we should run a record label. Yeah, no, I concur, you know. And amassing all the skills I had as a journalist, writing for the Groove Guide, presenting on Bleed FM, meeting all these bands, and now working as a publicist at my day job, amalgamating all of that into, yeah, we'll run a record label. And the financial side of things, we weren't too clued up about. So some of the original releases were just like A4 printouts cut out, stuck into like a spare fucking Spice Girls CD or something like that, and, you know, crudely drawn artwork like BMX Rapist's first, I guess, EP, which was just Jeremy drawing animals with dicks on them, and delightfully called Cocks of the Animal Kingdom. But I've always been at this train of thought where it's a lot better for a band to have someone in the middle approach media than for a band to approach media themselves. Every man and his dog can go up to BFM or Radioactive or The Groove Guide, as it was, and say, "Oh, we're one of the best bands in Auckland, you should check us out." There's a completely different thing when you have someone in the middle going, "I'm representing God Bows to Math, for example. They're putting out an album. Did you want to have a chat about maybe some of their songs being played on the radio," or stuff like that. You know, it kind of, you'd imagine and you hope, and it has, thankfully, it gives off the sense of, yeah, this guy's pouring his time, money and effort into this band. Maybe we should check it out. God, that was an emotional night. We always have the birthday show, and I always compare it to WrestleMania. It was a military operation. If you figure in, you've got 9 bands playing across 2 stages, advertising, you know, making sure that people are aware of it to the point where it's borderline kind of spamming people, you know. So I feel like the massive turnout that came was just like, vindication that I'm doing something right and that I have been working with the right bands. So maybe that's kind of testament to just how far we've come in 5 years, that it's not just our friends that are coming along now, but the general music loving public of Auckland. Sorry, the underground music loving people of Auckland, you know. It got really emotional, you know. I had Casey, you know, I heard Casey on the microphone say words to the extent of, I don't care if this label ends, I care I'll never have coffee with my friend again, you know. I had a Skins moment with Martin at the end of the God Bow set, where it was just this cacophony of feedback and, you know, the lights flashing and stuff like that. We just finished playing a Nirvana cover that me and Martin like bonded over many years beforehand, and just like the biggest man hug that you could ever imagine with all these lights flashing. It was like, holy fuck, I'm actually in like an episode of Skins, or, you know, like some movie moment. And all the bands, there was not one band I was disappointed with in terms of their performance. It just felt like they were like, okay, this is the last time maybe we'll all get together in the foreseeable future. We're just gonna play the best possible sets we can. It just seemed a perfect way to end our time in New Zealand. A story that I'm actually going to give my grandkids, if I ever have some, is how I met their grandmother. And how I met their grandmother was that when I first came to New Zealand, I wrote for a publication called New Zealand Musician. And the first band that they wanted me to interview was a band by the name of the Bengal Lights, a spunky duo of musicians that played with the Mint Chicks and, you know, all sorts of bands, you know. Like, there's an awesome scene down at the Underground in the Schooner Tavern. And then at the end of the interview, I was like, oh, you know, like, if you got any other things to say? And Maeve goes, oh, by the way, it's the Bengal Lights. And I thought, oh, what a bitch, you know, like, correcting me like that. That's not cool. I found that kind of, you know, a bit, well, you know, she had a point. It was the Bengal Lights, but I didn't need to have that shit, you know. I thought, well, that sounds cool. Fuck you. But little did she realise I quite took a fancy to this tall Justine Frischmann-esque, you know, lead singer. And we got talking, and then now we're in a beautiful marriage. Yeah, 2 years now, I think. There is a touch of nepotism, if we're honest. You know, I am going to work with Maeve because she is my wife. But at the end of the day, Maeve's an incredible musician, and fuck you if you think that she's just on the label because she's my wife.
Whoa.
One of the bands I discovered when I first came over here, aside from, with all due respect, the motorcades and stuff like that, and the Tuts, which I got told was like good New Zealand music, and yeah, it was good. And I discovered a band called 1000. It just blew me away. Like, this is the kind of stuff that I wanted to listen to. You know, it's the stuff that I really enjoyed. So. It was a chap by the name of Shane, and I remember asking him, did he want to come up to Fleet FM for a bored housewife session, we called it. Before Roundhead did their thing with BFM, we were doing in-studio sessions, you know. And he played an acoustic version of Minor Threat, which I've lost now, which guts me, but it was a lot of fun. I got approached by Shane about this new project called the Bemsha Swing with another chap called Andy, and I think at the time it was a drum machine by the name of Frankie. There was this kinship between me and Shane, which was like, you know, if you can't afford to do it, what can you do for us? And it was one of the first releases where it was like, well, I can't take your money off you. If you want to press it, I'm happy to run with it. They're one of the hidden treasures of MUZAI. Everyone hears about all these other bands, and then they discover the Bemsha Swing, and it's like, actually, mate, that wasn't too bad, was it? Like, well, of course, I'm not gonna sign a shit band now, am I?
Then this is the sound of everything.
We kind of blew up when we ended up working with a band called Bandicoot, which was Pearl McGlashan of Don McGlashan and Shortland Street fame, Daniel McBride, who's now won the Critics' Choice Award with his project Sheepdog and Wolf, and Ruben Winter, who is just an evil child genius. You know, if he's I mean, what's the catalogue of his stuff is, you know, he did Bandicoot. Before Bandicoot was People, who opened for the Black Keys when he was like 13 or some ridiculously like young age. He drummed for Fat Angry Man, he formed Kitsunagari, he's doing stuff as Totems and formed like a collective called Kerosene Comic Book. And now he's doing stuff as Carol, so he gets to balance the whole kind of I'm a bedroom producer, but I also play loud, noisy music. It just seemed right having Carols play the show because of all the continual work that Ruben has done throughout time with the label, and you know, and his mum Iona is a fucking saint. I go on about my family, you know, MUZAI being like a family, but in terms of Ruben and Iona, they really are my family in New Zealand, you know, and you know, just a very close kind of knit. I mean, they live behind us in Greyland, for God's sakes, you know, so we're neighbours, we're family, and we've also done business with one another, so it would just be weird not having Ruben play a MUZAI show. I'm a massive Sharpie Crows fan. When Jackson, who drummed for them, approached me about releasing this pop record that him and Casey Latimer recorded while in Australia, under the moniker Hussies, I really enjoyed it. I thought, well, this would be a nice kind of ending to the year, you know? So we released it, and Casey had not really much of an idea who I was, and then we bumped into each other at Wines Out, and I was terrified of Casey, because you hear stories about Sharpie Crows, you know, and the bass player knocked out the guy from Pig Out, and it was all on stage, and you know, they break equipment, and I was terrified of meeting Casey. I thought, oh, this guy's gonna think I'm some schmuck or something like that, but fuck man, never judge a book by its cover, eh? Casey's been one of the coolest, closest confidants that I've made, you know, and I love the fact that we can just go and have coffee and just talk and unload, you know, not about the business or the industry, just about life itself, you know. And he understands, he gets that MUZAI isn't like $1 million corporation. He gets that I can only do what I can do. He gets that in this business it's a relationship. After Hussies kind of finished, really liked what I did, thought I worked really hard with, you know, the nominal amount of money and stuff that we've got. He had a band delightfully titled Girls Pissing on Girls Pissing, and you know, the name alone should have just kind of like been, fuck, I have to sign these guys. So we ended up releasing Girls Pissing on Girls Pissing, which wasn't on CD or vinyl, it was actually an art book, and it consisted of lyrics which were poetry that got implemented into the music, along with artwork from Casey, Catherine, who is the drummer, and Alex, who plays drums for Street Chant and was in the original incarnation of Girls Pissing. And we're now halfway through selling out the second run of that book, which is incredible because, again, it's a book, you know, and people complaining like no one buys music at shows. They do. You just have to make sure that it's something of interest. I liked the idea of bucking conventions as well, because I think a lot of people thought that we were just going to be a noise label at that point in time, and then we released some psychedelica, so people thought we were being a psychedelica label. So like, right, let's just fuck with people's heads and go right back and do something completely different, and you know, art rock or avant-garde or, you know, post-art rock or whatever you want to term it, you know, that was what Girls Pissing on Girls Pissing symbolized. It was the kind of fucking with conventions, you know, both in terms of how you release music and what kind of, you know, the decency of releasing music, you know, like no one wanted to play a band called Girls Pissing on Girls Pissing originally, just because the name was offensive, even though they're just words thrown together, you know, like people got offended with the idea of a band called Joy Division, but you know, it just didn't have any naughty words in it. And now people are like, so when are we going to get a copy of that Girls Pissing on Girls Pissing single? Sunken Seas originally were Tidabatis, and something had happened, and then I think Ryan had been following MUZAI. When he was like, oh hey, I just wonder if we could catch up sometime, you know, I really like what you do, it'd be nice to meet you. I'm like, oh okay, cool. So here's me, sit down having coffee to this real, you know, I thought at the time, slick Rick kind of individual, you know. Like, we sat down and started talking, and then he started saying things like, so hypothetically, if we were to sign a MUZAI, what would that entail? Like, oh well, hypothetically. Somehow they ended up signing to the label, and it was when hypotheticals kept becoming hypotheticals, and then, oh, you want to take a listen to the album? Okay, I'll have a listen to the album. Sweet. What do you reckon to it? Well, actually, guys, it's a really good album. He went and ended up talking to the rest of the band, and I can't. It just seemed like they signed. They've got this real incredible aesthetic. You know, they bring a real strong kind of visual element to everything that they do. Their live shows are incredible, and they have all the makings to be one of the biggest bands in New Zealand. As much as there's this pomp and pageantry around Sunken Seas and the way they present themselves, they're just, you know, 4 dudes at the end of the day, very likeable, slightly nerdy. They just don't exude the nerdiness as much as, you know, the rest of us on the label, I guess. after Tom did Yoke Alone, I think Wilberforces was the next thing he did with Chris, who's still in the band, Emily from Street Chant, and a chap called Callan. They were great. I liked when they released Tidal Waves and stuff like that. At the same time, you hear stories about what their reputation's like. I used to do a wee little segment on BFM when ADAM used to do his Friday Drive show. It's like, oh, you should invite bands up and interview them. And they came up, and the whole thing just fucking turned into this kind of, not even a fight, but kind of like a rock up between Adam and Chris and Tom. And I'm stuck in the middle thinking, oh my god, they're gonna think that I'm some fucking loser, you know, like, oh god, you know, like real sick, like BFM will never have me up again, you know, because people were swearing on BFM and this is so bad, oh my god, what am I gonna do? Then Tom texted me like 5 minutes when they left the studio, and I left dejected, doing that kind of, you know, Charlie Brown Peanuts walk of kind of like my head on the looking down. It's like, hey man, that was a real good interview, hey, a lot of fun, we'll catch up with you soon. I'm like, okay, it can't have been that bad. And then he ended up at one point saying to me, oh hey, listen, I've got a new Wilberforces record, I was wondering if we could talk sometime about releasing it. Like, yes, because, you know, for me, one of the big things when I started the label was like, I really want to work with Wilberforces, because I fucking adored them, you know. I adored the music, the banter. Tom's a film nerd, so it was like any excuse for me and Tom to nerd out over film, you know. And what started off as this kind of, oh, I have to work with Wilberforces because I'm a massive fanboy, has turned into, I will work with Tom with almost whatever he'll put out because of this love and respect that I have for him as a person. There's a common theme with all of these bands that you discover that they're all friends, and that's because I don't want to work with an asshole unless I completely have to, you know. And they're all relationships that have kind of come about through a mutual love of music or nerddom, or, you know, just being good people at the end of the day. So an Australian label called Tensman actually approached me saying, there's a band in New Zealand I think you should check out. They're called the All Seeing Hand. They need a bit of a hand releasing their stuff. Would you be interested? And I've heard a lot of things about the All Seeing Hand, so I thought, okay, we'll take a listen to this. It was some of the most interesting, unique, intriguing music that I had listened to. I don't say that lightly. It was just incredible, tribal, unnerving, disorientating, and everything kind of which music should be at times. A little bit dangerous, like you don't know what's going to happen. You know, polarizing. I still can't listen to Mechatronics at home while Maeve's there because it terrifies her. But no, it went well, and it was just so well received, and I think it was one of those other moments again where we got put on the map. Legend has it that the All Seeing Hand played a show at Camp Aloham once which terrified most of the audience. It consisted of Alphabet Head, Ben and Johnny St. Cross just stood on the stage doing their thing, lights flashing, and opened square, so to speak, of people in white costumes, might have been a semicircle. And every time that the lights would flash, one of these people just decked in white corpse paint would move. And so everyone did that thing move? And then someone else would move. And then someone else would move. And then someone else would move. Until the whole thing just became this very disorientating kind of performance. At the end of the performance, all of these people dressed in white would be walking down through the crowd and just suddenly grab someone by the arm and lead them into the forest, you know, which I just thought was really fucking cool, you know, like how terrifying and how memorable would that be if you've actually, you know, under the influence of something, completely disorientated from the flashing lights and everything that's happened, and now you're being dragged off into the forest by someone you don't even know. Now Love was originally going to be kind of like the sister label for MUZAI. By that I mean that Martin would take on, you know, bands, and if they worked out, then I would pick them up and do stuff with MUZAI and make sure that Martin was compensated for it. Proton Beast and Hollywood Fun Downstairs were both on Hell Is Now Love, and then you know, we kind of decided, all right, let's just do something, you know. And the first time I saw them was through pure luck. We were looking for a support band for Cool Cult to play Lucha Lounge, and Wes contacted me like, oh, what about we'd be keen. It's like, alright, I took a listen to this stuff, like, alright, no, that's cool. And they played live and it was awesome. And here we go again, that rule of like, Wes is a really nice guy and he gets where I'm coming from. Now, that goes without saying that if you're a friendly guy and you write music I'm not into, I'm sorry, I might not sign you. That makes me sound like a dick. I'm a dick, you know. But thankfully, with Wes, he was writing some really cool music with Stu, and he was a likable character. He gave me a lot of shit about going back to the UK, and then it turned out that it's like, oh, I know I gave you a lot of shit, but I just, you know, you're a really good friend and I'm gonna miss you. And it's like, oh, there's no such things as goodbyes. You know, when you die, that's a goodbye. It's just a see you later, I guess. So, you know, hopefully that's calmed him down a little bit. He's a good dude, Wes, and I'm really happy that he's part of the MUZAI roster. They're a band that have always gone on last whenever we've done shows, and I thought, I'm not going to have them go on last. Even though they managed to keep a crowd, it would be nice for them not to play last for once. But then Wes was like, oh man, you're fucking killing me. You're putting me on after the All Seeing Hand. Thanks. But it worked out for the best, you know, and I was very, very proud of their set at the MUZAI show. was no God Bows to Math or Haiku Terror Shades as they once were, you know, there wouldn't be a label. What can be said about God Bows to Math that probably hasn't been stated and said and written and archived throughout the annals of running MUZAI? If there was no God Bows to Math, there would be no MUZAI. Martin was the guy I set up the label with. Martin has been one of my fucking closest friends, you know. Like, Maeve is one of my... If I could marry Martin, maybe I would have done, but, you know, I married Maeve, so, you know, it's very close, you know. And all of those guys, you know, the lineup now, which is Tom Morrison on drums and Sam Cuss on bass, we've all grown up together. I mean, Cuss was in Sherpa, so I remember sneaking him into gigs to play them. I remember getting swine flu going on tour with God Bows to Math, you know. I remember late nights when Martin would come over to my house just to talk. I honestly can't imagine a world where there would be no God Bows to... Okay, that's a lie. If God Bows to Math broke up, I'd be sad, but I couldn't imagine a world where Martin and Tom and Sam as three individuals didn't exist, because that's a world I don't want to fucking live in, you know. Like, Martin's been there throughout the whole thing, through my wedding, the trials, the tribulations and stuff like that. God Bows to Math has been there through the trials and tribulations and everything like that. You know, words really can't do them justice, just how much they mean to me and the label. For me to leave New Zealand and to leave them behind is probably the most bitter pill that I have to swallow. They are family and have been with me through thick and thin, so... You fucking have to have them for a MUZAI show, don't you? It would be like a hot dog without the bun. It makes no fucking sense. It was great. It was fun, exhausting, emotional. Making it sound like a Calvin Klein advert, but no, it was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Would I do it again? Well, that would defeat the purpose of it being the last exit to MUZAI, wouldn't it?